What's up, YouTube world? Okay, another question, or maybe it's more like a comment. So, there's somebody on YouTube. The name is Charles Womack. Charles Womack, and I was listening to one of his sermons, and what Mr. Womack alluded to was that people who smoke cigarettes, he basically was kind of chastising Christians who would judge people because they do things like smoke cigarettes. And he says, Christians jump all over these people when smoking cigarettes is just a symptom of something more serious. And here's what he said: uh, smoking cigarettes is a symptom of a deep spiritual matter that has not been dealt with. In other words, that's Christian jargon for saying that there's secret sin, or there is sin in the life of that person, and they have not submitted themselves over to Jesus Christ. So therefore, that is why they smoke cigarettes. Of course, let's look at what the facts say. People smoke cigarettes for the same reason I drink coffee: the drugs. That's right, I said it. Cigarettes contain the drug nicotine, which is highly addictive, and coffee contains the drug caffeine, which is highly addictive. And the reason why I drink coffee is because I like the feeling that the caffeine gives me. So, in essence, what this man is teaching, his theology says that if you are drinking soda, coffee, smoking cigarettes, drinking liquor and wine. And it's funny because one of the first so-called miracles that Jesus conducted in the Bible when he came out of the wilderness is he went to a wedding. He went to the wedding, and people were minding their own business. And he turned some barrels of water into wine. And here's what happened. When they got a load of this wine, they was like, oh, ish. This some good ish. And listen to the statement that they made. They say usually people, after you have well drunk, that means you toe up, you feeling good. He says usually they'll bring the bottom shelf liquor out then, or the cheap liquor, because you ain't gonna know no difference because you are already inebriated. He said, but you, Mr. Jesus, you save the best wine. You pop that top shelf out after we have already drank. And we nice, we toe up. But you ain't got that top shelf. You saved the best for last. It's funny, right? But according to Mr. Womack, it's sin that causes people to smoke. Out of the mouths of the same people who would declare that Martin Luther King was a man of God and did many righteous works, yet it is public knowledge that Martin Luther King smoked cigarettes throughout the civil rights movement. And he was a smoker. See, that is what religion does to people. Superstitious foolishness, just idiocy. And then he goes on to say that watching television, or no, Facebook, if you post memes that have profanity in it, you open up the door to all types of hell in your life. So that's why you're going through the ups and downs. One day you're happy, one day you're not, one day you love life, one day you don't. How ridiculous is that? That is likely the situation for many, if not most, human beings alive. It's called the mind. And there are chemical imbalances and things that go on that leads to depression, symptoms of depression, anxiety, all types of different things. It's the brain. So that's idiocy. It's lunacy. It is infantile. That is something that, it is worse than Santa Claus to believe in such a way. And these are sincere people. These are people, they're not foolish, but this is what happens when you become indoctrinated. You say things like that, and it takes, like the Mr. Womack said in his message, you hear something, it goes into your mind, and it's there. It ain't being removed. Well, that's not true. That's not necessarily true, because you can reprogram. your mind by putting down the unhealthy stuff and picking up some healthy stuff to ingest mentally, right? So, what are your thoughts? Do you believe that people smoke because it's sin? They have deep spiritual issues. In other words, because they're not saved. That's why they smoke. Do you agree? What's your opinion?